Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene is set to release a tell-all book this fall, chronicling her meteoric rise to fame as one of the nation's most prominent far-right lawmakers and most loyal supporters of former President Trump in Congress. I wanted people to hear my side of the story, Greene told the Washington Examiner in an interview published Tuesday. Some of it is setting the record straight. Greene's publisher confirmed the report in a statement to The Hill. We are thrilled that Congresswoman Greene is publishing her first book with Winning Team Publishing. What a name. A spokesperson for the publishing company said in a statement, few individuals have taken Congress by storm in the same way as she has. This book will pull back the curtain on her life, politics, in the Washington swamp. The book will be titled MTG and will be released on November 21st, the Washington Examiner reported. It reportedly has been in the works for about a year. I'm always controversial, but I think this book might be a little controversial with some of the stories, Greene said in the interview. She added she hopes to introduce myself to America as me, not the character that the mainstream media created and has sold to America over the past few years. Greene told the DC-based news outlet that the book is about 300 pages long and will chronicle her upbringing, her first campaign for Congress in 2020, and her 3 years on Capitol Hill. I tell about COVID. I talk about COVID and my personal experience going through that when my dad died. I talk about fights I've had with people. I talk about the speaker's race. I talk about the House Freedom Caucus. So I'm pretty much running the gamut. And I've even talked about, space lasers with the religion on top of it. I'm not going to read that part in front. But anyways, this might actually surprise some people. Well, first of all, Winning Publishing Team is the goofiest name I've ever heard for a publishing company. Like, I just think out of all the names you could have had, like maybe excellent developers are I don't know. Just what are you winning? What victory do you have? I'm interested in it by virtue of I wish more books were written about members of Congress. Like, if you look at the Senate, for example, over the last out of anyone that's been in there for the last 20, 30 years that wasn't a president, the only one who had multiple biographies written of them was like Ted Kennedy. That's about it. And Hillary. So I wish, because we have such a lack of literature when it comes to politicians in Congress, that does entice me to it. But it follows a trend where there's a lot of these people who they get in Congress and they're there for sometimes not even a full term, and they write a book. You saw this with Cruz, where he wrote a book in 2015, first got to the Senate in 2013, or Grist was sworn in, rather. You had, I don't think I have it here with me. I was going to show it, because it's another example of what we're talking about. Oh, actually I do. I mean, hey, look no further than the man who started it all. The audacity of hope. Two years as a senator and already had a book out right before his campaign for president started. So there's a lot of these people who, once they get in Congress, they just write a book. Same thing with Ilhan Omar. And I don't know, I guess, to me, the memoirs I really like are ones like True Compass, again, by Ted Kennedy, or No Higher Honor by Condoleezza Rice, where it's a full account of a time period that is finished, or for the most part completed. Versus hey, I've been in the Senate or the House for a term, 2 terms. Let me tell you about my years here. I just think she would have been better off if she waited until at least after the 2024 election to write something like this, because she still is someone who might get picked as Trump's running mate, and then if that ended up, whichever way that ended up going, she could then put that in the book too. But I don't know. I'm just starting to, this trend has been going on for a long time. These people get in Congress and they're there for 2 years to 4 years, and then they put out a book. Harris did the same thing. The Truths We Hold. Warren, what was it? A Fighting Chance or something to that effect. Same thing. I guess it makes sense, because when you're a member of Congress who's considered notable, Well, Congress automatically will boost your name recognition. Just sometimes not by that much because people still know who the hell you are if they don't follow this stuff at all. But people who didn't know who you were before you became a member of the House or Senate will that follow this stuff will almost certainly know who you are after that. I mean, look at Boebert. She put out a book too. Personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable writing a memoir. Again, if you want to do like a general policy book like Ro Khanna did, that's one thing. But I wouldn't personally feel comfortable doing a memoir until I felt like I had truly done something, or was like approaching the end stages. Like you know what I'm talking about, just like it being a member of the House where you're one of 300 plus members. Like yeah, it's a notable accomplishment, but you still, especially only a few years into it, don't know what all you're going to do. So I personally would just if it were me, I'd rather wait to see if I'm almost done being in the House, if I'm going to try to be senator, just to see if I have some other career accolade that can make me feel as if I've accomplished something or become some significant figure to want to sit down and write a memoir. But again, if her purpose is to kind of like identify herself, I get where she would want to expedite it, especially ahead of, possibly a bigger involvement in the 2024 campaign. I am interested in it. Man, this book is coming out the same month as Liz Cheney's book. That's interesting. Like Cheney condemned Greene for the whole national divorce comment, and now they're both putting books out in the same month, where Greene is like the person that's rising in the Republican Party for just praising and praising and praising Trump, and Cheney, who at one point was the third most important House Republican, even considered a possible person to be the first female Republican Speaker of the House, who voted with Trump over 90% of the time, got her whole career decimated by telling the truth about January 6th. So that's quite the interesting aligning of events, where there's these two people who have like certain rises that are just either still going or stifled, and they're both putting out a memoir the same month. So it'll be fun to watch which one outsells the other one. I think Greene's probably going to sell more because if not Trump himself, some other people are going to do the whole promotion campaign of you got to get Greene's book. It's so great. Oh, the section where she was talking about it. But that it'll we'll see how it does, and I'll update if I decide to get. I think I probably will get it